Moin! Welcome back to another game or episode of Through Their Eyes. I will be playing or watching a replay of my opponent's point of view against me, Klar, Belfi, and Vixen. And yeah, this was a spicy one. Uh, I really enjoyed this game with a special, interesting ending. So yeah, stay tuned. I will watch it from my opponent's eyes. I have still pretty good remembrance of this game. So yeah, um, but I will try to analyze this game from their perspective, what their options are at certain points, and where they should play different or could have played different, depending on the scout, whatever they get, and stuff like that. So yeah. Let's start this one. I will fast forward until they have placed their starting buildings. So here we had a sprite start into reroll already. Give me a second here until we have the final placements and see what's happening. Okay. So we have warriors. That's the first thing we see. And then we check out the lanes. We have a tribesman spirit. So that was my Discord, sorry for that. That we have Sprite, Tribesman over here. We have a Watcher lane on Honey Badger with a decent mid game, but just Watcher plus Hydra isn't any good. Here we have Sentry from the first row with Parasite on them and Tuska Spearman from the second now. He decided to get the tier 1 instead of, that was in my Discord again, sorry for that. Not quite sure how to mute them, to be quite honest, so yeah. We gotta live with this audio. Okay, so we have Spirit Lane, Sentry Lane here, and he kept the Tuska. He could have not built the Tuska and went 3-0, but then he couldn't reach Saber for 3 usually. So maybe this is a better build. Maybe he could have sold this one and get the Saber for 2. That could have been even better, but yeah. And here we have a Komodo lane. And yeah, here we start with the tribesmen. And they are sending. Do I like this send by them? Usually when we are or when I am making a decision whether or not it's wise to send on one, there are 3 factors overall. One is, or the first most factor is, can we all send it? Like, is there a lot lane? Is there 1-0 lane? Was someone AFK at the start? Do we even get 8 warriors? They got 8 warriors, so okay, first criteria was checked. Second criteria is, do we even want time? Do we want to push? Is our push good? And looking at this 3-2-2-2 doesn't really look good. Check out the lanes real quick if they can push further in the next rounds. Yes, he has a build which was decent and will hold 2 even if he pushes. It's another tribesman and then gets a wisp. That holds 2, but it's not really great, to be honest. Because his follow-up with the next 140 gold he gets is either upgrading one of the tribes to an alpha, or he doesn't do the wisp, stays to 0, and the warriors are not really helpful, and then he gets an alchemist for 3. Over here, he can push, get one watcher, get a wisp, so for him it's absolutely fine to send warriors since he started 3-0 anyway. And over here, yeah, like I said, I think he's missing gold on the next levels anyway. His role is kind of hard, not really good units in here, and so this is interesting whether or not he can push here and what his follow-up. I don't really know how he's going to proceed, but he can push with some corrupted ends in his builds and to hold 2 and 3 to mix them in. That's a viable build. So yeah, I would say for him it's okay that they send, and for him he can't really push unless he doesn't run second Kodo. And then he could have gone for Revenant, and in that case he could have built them already to be safer on 1. So he doesn't want to push anyway. So second criteria is not really checked. I don't think that their lanes want to push here. None of them really can, and those who can will sacrifice their 3-hold. And the third criteria is, are are we good on rounds 2 and 3? So do we mind if there's a big reset on 2 and 3? He is gonna be decent with Komodos, but he has to stay to 0. That's the first point. If he gets 2 Komodos on 2, he's fine. If he gets 2 Komodo plus maybe a Revenant or yeah, something, whatever he finds in this role for 3, he will be fine there, but to 0. He does not really have anything to be fine on 3. Only thing he could manage to do is Alchemist, which would lead to 2-0, like I explained earlier. And his hold on 3 is non-existent. His only hold is a clear with Watcher, and then it's not really good. So yeah, he doesn't like 3 either. And for him, Sentry Saber, the worst level is 3, of course, or one of the worst levels, maybe followed by 6. But he doesn't like Sent on 3 either. With Corrupted End, he can be good there, he can go mid and eat there even, but he would need overbuild. And do you want to feed this lane? Probably not. So 2 out of the 3 criteria for myself are not checked, so I would have not sent warriors with these roles and with this push. If they somehow started more 3-0 pushes, I think it's good. The only what is it called, silver lining to this warrior send is that they really have bad rolls. So they need an early advantage to somehow get this game rolling and snowball out of the first advantage. That's the only reason why they potentially send warrior, or maybe someone just called it and everyone clicked the button and no one looked. It's possible as well. But yeah, in my eyes, they should not have sent warriors here. So let's see how it goes. Does West side send warriors as well? Yes, they do. Okay, let me check out who's gonna be mid. Not mid, potentially. 3 sprites are mid, but Tribesman is worse than sprite on 1. He is potentially mid depending on RNG. If the Watchers flies in front and the first one dies early, he's not mid, else he's potentially mid. This leaks a lot, and this leaks a lot. So I expect a really big leak by East, and yeah, at least they have the advantage, or at least they did send as well, and potentially can get some hold of West's King League. Yeah, this is going absolutely fantastic for him. He is close to mid, if not really mid. That was, yeah, really insane for Sprite hold here. The Komodo has mucho luck as well. Not usual that you kill so much. This lane was lucky mid as well, and the Watcher wasn't lucky. So my prediction of the leaks was kinda true, but not to the end. They leaked not as much as I expected them. They did way better than I thought. Congrats on them. Maybe they were lucky, maybe it was just me underestimating their builds. Possible. Okay, what did they get to scout here? They saw a Dwarf Fighter on my lane, and they saw a Disciple on Vixen's lane here. So, and they see 4 Dwarf Fighters here, so I did start 2-0 as well this game, which is a common thing nowadays if you want to go overbuild with Dwarf Fighters. Else, if you don't want to overbuild, you usually go with 3 Dwarf Fighters, or depending on the strength of your team as well. So yeah, my lane got really fat here, and the Disciple lane as well, kind of. And here's a King League. So they leaked 20 to King, and West ate everything. Quick check, did they manage to push here? Honey Badger pushed the Watcher lane, which, yeah, always happens usually. If you're a Watcher, you can always go for 0 for 2. Well, unless they are, your team is really weak on 2, of course, then you don't. He did push 1, and he's even pushing a second push here. Since he did full hold here, I think that's possible for him, but he will have to go Corrupted End, I think. I don't think he reaches 80 gold here. Let me quick check. 67, so yeah, he has to go Corrupted End, and I don't know if 2 Sentries, 1 Tuska and a Corrupted End. Sentries have Parasite, that's not can't be forgotten, but not quite sure if that's mid, so he probably has to cancel this Wisp. He did not push, like I said. He still manages to reach his Komodo on the dot. So yeah, lucky him. So he's probably gonna go overbuild this game. And here we did get one push in, probably followed by a tribesman here. So let me see what they do. He's getting the tribesman, decides to build this one in a lane and this one in front. Not quite sure why he did it this way, but maybe he plans on upgrading this one for 5. Yeah, fourth watcher here, like it was like I thought, and he went for just another tier 1. Okay, even pushing one more. That's really interesting. I'm not sure if this holds here. That is gonna okay, decided against it again. Okay. So let me I wanna watch this. I doubt this holds, but maybe it does, and maybe even if it leaks he gets his Night Saber anyway. Which I assume he wants. He could get the Grey main as well, depending on what his role this game is. I will speak about the roles of the players in the next round, I think, when we know their pushes and how the game is going for each lane. But yeah, this is holding way better than I expected. I think Parasite on Sentry, I did skip out on that in class. I think it's way better than I thought. So yeah, interesting to see that. And East is looking like they are leaking. West is looking like they are leaking here. So we get the information in mid. And then West has to decide if they want to resend on 3. Let me check out the wood before the creeps reach the mid, so we can get the scout then. So he is 120 on 3-0. He will reach a Firbolg after income or maybe double Sprite. He will reach Sprite, Hermit, one of those, maybe at a Bowman. He is 4-0 on 130. He can reach double Spirit. And he is on 118 with 4-1. That's quite strong. He will probably be able to do a Blood Orc after income even. I'm not quite sure though. So let's check out what they scout here and if they should decide against or for sending. Okay, they scout the Disciple, which they knew already about. On Vixen, they scout the Dwarf Fighter. They scout that it's 4 still, so either I did build another one or not lose one here. And they scout a Militia, same color as my lane, so Militia with Dwarf Fighter. That's a very potent and strong combination on 5, 7, and 10 with the biggest weakness on 5 of those levels. And 4 it isn't really great. On 3 the Militia is very weak, but the Dwarf Fighter is still quite strong. And then they see a Time Stealer on Klar. So they see that there's another lane which had a low-ish push start. So do they decide to send? I probably, well, looking at this, let's assume everyone reaches like 2 spirits. 2 spirits on the Disciple lane if he goes double Disciple. Doesn't make it leak. Potentially, maybe if he's lucky, he's full clear. If he's unlucky, he's full clearing and leaking the spirits. Usually it holds though. This here looks like an overbuild with the Dwarf Fighters at front and Militia not really good, but at least not the worst if there are other 2 hits on the team. So can work out well. And Time Stealer depends on the ads, so this one can die to double spirit if it runs in front. So they could send if they want. I don't know what they read on the 3rd lane, 50 to 60 here, no splash. Interesting league as well. So yeah, they can send, but I probably wouldn't. I would rather look at something like bomb 5 with a big send or straight 7 to break my lane, but it's quite hard to break on 7. So let's see what they decide. They decide against sending on 3. Okay. Absolutely fine decision. I will fast forward this until the builds are done. Okay, so here we upgraded the front alpha male like I thought. I think this is quite weak on 3 anyway. Here we added a Tuska Spearman. Yeah, that's a very greedy push. I don't think that it even holds no sand, and if there is a sand, this will hurt him a lot. But he is a Watcher, so he just needs to add one more for 4 and already be mid there. 350 is on the edge of being mid. I don't really know how good the Tuska Spearman adds in with the Watcher, since it has higher range and won't really tank much on 4. It's quite yeah, RNG based, I think. Over here we have Grizzly in front, so if this one runs in front and gets sniped by the Sens, if there are Sens, it will just die very early and not share any damage with the sentries. Yeah, not quite sure how that will go. I underestimated the sentries already, so I will not comment this, but I think it leaks really, yeah. And here we have double Komodo and an unupgraded cannon. This should go mid to any resend. So let's check out if there is a resend. Yes. So double Spirit, and here we have a Furbolg. I think he's lucky that he has got a Furbolg, since it doesn't really get to hit for a long time and it doesn't change any increment. The sentries are too hard always, and the bear always one-shots anyway. But even with the Furbolg not doing much on his lane, he's leaking a lot anyway. Then we have the Watcher lane here. This had to leak a lot, and this one as well. So yeah, all those lanes who were very weak here got really hurt a lot. And here we have the Komodo cannon lane in mid. Cannon really shared damage very well, so nice placement on him, I think. And over here it will die though, but yeah, the Komodos will kill a lot of scorpions, and he is gonna be really fat. So after this round, the roles are pretty clear this game, or at least they should be pretty clear. He got really fat early, has 2 bulky melee units already, and has potential damage for 7 and potential damage for 10. So he is the designated overbuild this round. At least from my current perspective of the game, of how it goes. They are close to leaking, losing a heal, 2 heals here already. His lane got really hurt on 3. With alphas, he can at least manage to hold 5 with a lowish value. So yeah, he should be pusher. He is designated pusher already with the Watcher. And on his lane, he possibly needs to get the Grizzly upgraded to Greymane for 5, or he needs to get the Nightsaber, so he can still be a holder for 5-6. I don't really see a mid on 7. They did not use the heal here, down to 800 HP, but still a massive leak and a massive fat for pink, and value taken off the other lanes. Quick fast forward until something really happens here. No sand here. Green. Close to leaking. Yes, he is gonna leak. So there's gonna be a full free scout for west on east lanes. But the other way around there it will be 2. This scout is Komodo Cannon Alpha. So it looks really weak on 5, if on 6, if the Komodos are not gonna be upgraded. So does he reach to upgrade them? Yes, he can reach. No, he does not, unless he gets the kills here. He can upgrade to Trident, and they get another scout here. So they see some of the stuff they saw before. They saw before the Disciple on red, and now they scout that on my lane, on purple's lane here, we see a lot of spear militias already. 2 already in there, and 1 without a spear, but 2 spears already, 1 without, so this one will be a spear. for 5 for certain and probably one more. So he will be dwarf fighters, at least 4, which we saw, and 4 spear militia in the back. That's 240 plus 600, so 840 value on 5, most likely. So that's a big, big overbuild on 5. They see the ship, which is very weak on 5, with some Spectres as backline, so this lane is not gonna do anything, and the red lane probably gonna clear if they gonna send and if they decide to send. So let's see if they do. No, they did. Okay, they do, but after income. So either they just missed the lumber limit. No, they just had this call a bit late. I think they did not get the income of those Bloodhawks. So let's check out the lanes. He reaches Greyman if he sells a Tusker, probably should do that. He reaches second Violet. Don't know if he should do that, but he has the option, else he should have pushed already. So probably gonna get the Violet here. He does reach second Alpha Male, probably gonna do that. Other option could be to sell the Tuskar and get an Alchemist, but it doesn't sound really good as well, so probably just gonna upgrade to Alpha. And here we got the Trident, since he did get kills in mid, and maybe even got his Bloodhawk in time, but yeah, I didn't check that. So let's see how they build or what they build. Do we get the sell here? Do we get the second?
Upgrade complete.
Where did his gold go? Didn't I just check out 156 probably? So maybe already did build the Violet, but the gold was not updated. This numbers here are a bit behind the real numbers. So if I check out his gold, let's check out his gold, 60, 123. And you see it's 127 now on the real number, but it's not updated here. So maybe I just got the second where he already did upgrade, but it was not upgraded here. Okay, so he went for the Violet like I thought, but not like the second. I was kind of wondering how much he can afford on 5-2. Would have been really, really strong to be 690 value here on 5-2. But yeah, this is your normal Violet build. He got it. So gotta really appreciate this build. He got 550 value on 5-2, even though he really got fucked on 3. Undervalue already, and getting the cent, and there was a mid eating the cent, so he didn't get much king gold. So yeah, good job on him managing to keep his lane alive and even strong. So he has the best push of the team, lower value than orange. Okay, he did get the alpha male. Don't really like alpha males overall. There are not so many really good uses for them, but his lane, yeah, his role really doesn't support much else. Yeah, he went for the Trident, like I said already, and what did we get here? He decided against the Grey Mane, but decided to get the Night Saber. I think that the Grizzly is like the Knight. Yeah, like the Knight. For 5, you really want it upgraded. And it's just that value. If you have one of these 180 gold units, or like 200 gold units, maybe an outcast, and yeah, all those kind of chunky, no ability, fighter, heavy armor units, you want them upgraded for 5, else they are just that value. And even though you have one of the best units for 5, this can still potentially leak to no cent, or maybe not to no cent, but to a low cent, this will leak for sure. So maybe getting the Grey Mane was better. You were better set up for 6th then as well, but in that case, your main damage source would die early since it's alone out here. So Grey Mane really appreciates stuff around him to take some early damage off him, some early pressure until many of the birds are down. He's gonna do well. Yeah. talked already about it. How much cent do they manage to get here? Let me fast forward a bit. Well, so they managed to get 1,500 cent. That means like everyone gets a Blood Orc, maybe someone gets double Blood Orc Spirit, someone gets Blood Orc Spirit Furbolg, something like that. So yeah, this is gonna hurt on most normal average builds. Do they get a send here? Yes, so we West decided to send here as well. Blood Orc Spirit, Furb Spirit here. Here we have Furb Spirit, and here we have Furb Spirit. So this is fine, gonna be mid. This one I think will leak to double Spirit. Maybe even the Grizzly build is better here since he got Spirits, which will snipe the Bear or Greymane nonetheless. So can be so-so. And this one will leak anyway, but he's a pusher lane, designated pusher lane, and this one will leak as well. And they all are in the hopes of getting their pushes in. So Orange hopes for 6-2 or 7-2 probably. DP Teacher maybe wants to decide to go overbuild, then he's gonna hope for getting a Night Saber for 6 or the Greymane, depending on how much gold he has. He's mid. And he is hoping for his 6-3, I would say. So let's see how it goes here. Yeah, this is really not taking much damage and killing this really fast. So yeah, his hold is a very good hold. He did his job right, and yeah, he used his feet well to save the team here from kind of destruction. Everyone else leaked a lot. This yeah, leaked about as I expected it. I don't know how it would have done with the Greymane if it would have been better. So, and they see here mid on my lane, so they broke me. They broke the Dwarf Fighters. Like I said, one of the first or the biggest weakness of Dwarf Fighter Militia holder is 5, but even then it's not a certain that you can break them if the holder really is going overbuild. Didn't even kill too much here, I think. If I remember correct, I killed an early Blood Orc, but I'm not certain about that. But there's a lot of sense going straight to king, and over here we have a way better hold still. So the Trident Komodo cannon combination did really well and cleared a lot here. So they scout Immo, and they know that they have Immo as well. So let's see if there are any leaks. West healed 2 times here, so down to 2 heals, and East healed 1 time. So yeah, overall good trade for East. Overall, yeah, went well for them. Their holder did their job very well, got the second Trident here, so doesn't even run a risk anything on 6, once it for 7 anyway. Green decided to full push his lane, fine as well. There was the option for him to overbuild, but since they have ammo and since they scored here, I think they decided to full push all. 7-2 stuck here with this lane. Yeah, since he banked 50 gold and did not use it here, he will reach a 7-3, but yeah, rather late. He probably would have liked it to get it before 6. Will probably do it nonetheless, yes. Does he leak here? Yes, big time. So yeah, that's really a weakness of Tribesman, really weak on 6. Sprite as well, very weak. Tuskar, yeah, so his whole lane is gonna fall off a cliff right now. So he was weak on decentish weak on 1. He held there, but I think that's not your normal hold. He was weak on 3, good on 2, weak on 3, weak on decent on 5, but not really good. Weak on 6. So yeah, that's why this role is really a bad role. That's why you pull it. Even though it has really good units like the Steamroller, like the Troll Fighter and the Wanderer, all are situational, really good units, but there's just no real YOLO, no real hold in this lane. It's just a hard lane to play. looking at that he got his resend on 3, I think he played it well anyway. Got his 7-3, would have liked to get it a bit earlier, of course. He is not going mid, even though he had the gray main, the grizzly, but yeah, that was to expected. And their holder gets full fat here anyway again. I missed a scout right now, but I don't think that is really mattered, and they decided to full send on 7. Or at least close to full send. Yeah, this looks like a full send. Let me check out. Wood, 165. So this is close to a full send. One guy banked a little bit. This is not gonna go mid. He did his 7-4 though. 7-4 done here as well, 7-4. So every pusher line managed to get their 7-4 in. That's nice. And their holder lane got really big value, got a second fire cannon. So this is really strong here. And they get a send, which is kind of small. Murgle on the holder lane, always nice to see as a holder. I think that the Trident's ability is gonna be affected by the Murgle. I will try to check that out. Is this a reduction aura? Is what the Murgle reaches. So let me slow this down and wait for the first wave. Okay, here it comes. So this guy is not within range of the reduction aura, and those guys are. Okay, so he got 148, 152, 152, 152, 148. So it really looks like it's affected by the Murgle, reduced by 4, 148 to 152. Interesting to see that. So yeah, Murgle is an effective counter to Trident. No, it's not, but interesting to see that. And as you can see here, either there's a range capped, which is lower than the animation of the ability itself, or there is a total damage cap on the ability. I don't know which is true, but yeah, here you can see those creeps are not damaged by the crushing wave. Okay, he will be big mid here. Murgle not gonna do anything to him. He is dead, of course, since he's pusher. Dead as pusher, dead as pusher. So yeah, does he lose his last trident? Not even. So he has 2 big guys in the mid and can wave there, but they see that West is only leaking 50 to their full send, so they have to assume big overbuilds on West's side. Is there a mid? Yes, there is a mid. And it's my lane, so here we have the Spear Militia combination to the Dwarf Fighter in the mid, and we can count, I think it's 7, 6 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Spear Militia and even some Dwarf Fighters alive, so this will eat a lot here in mid. And those tridents, the first one was down, and now the cannons are soon fodder. And over here, the Spear Militia, some of them are still alive, and the Dwarf Fighters are still doing their job. So after the dust has settled, East is leaking 64 to King, and West is leaking like 18 or 15 or 14 or whatever. Didn't get the Murloc. Okay, 18 to King here. So this exchange was way in favor of West, but probably at the cost of push and hold potential. So yeah, 4-4-4-1 is lower, higher probably, or they have to assume that that is higher than the push on West side, but they will burn the heals here. Can keep an eye on this to see whether or not West is gonna heal, but it's probable that they don't. Yeah, Disgraceful came out here, so looking at my overbuild probably, or the whole team's overbuild, since we already leaked way less than the other side. They did manage to only burn 1 heal here. It was very close, so yeah. Keeps them in the game. I think if they have lost their last heal here, it would be really hard for them to live 10. Since West did not really need much king here, so that's really good. Okay. He is gonna add y1 for his 10 hold. That's his game plan on 7-2. Here we have a decent lane still, probably gonna get a Knight Saber and then something else, maybe a Tribesman to be decent on 10 to damage there, but we will see. Okay, getting a Seer. Probably need to build it in front. Yes, good job. So on 8 you want your Seer of Darkness, or you well, usually you don't want a Seer of Darkness on 8, that's your starter, but if you don't have anything else to build like he does, or if you don't manage to get the gold to get the good upgrades, and you're forced to getting something like Seer of Darkness, build it in front. So on 8, the units will run in, it will tank a lot, and then the other units will run in front, and the second wave, or those who straggle afterwards on 8, will not be able to hit the Thea, and it will live on low damage, and you will have awesome damage here. So yeah, placement is correct. Getting the unit here is correct in this situation, but with this bad roll, he does not really have much other options. Triple Violet build sold a Watcher for it. I'm never a fan of selling unit, but if your build has to take it, you well can be doing that. One upside here was that he didn't need a farm for it. So yeah, he will have a decent-ish clear on 8. Will not be able to push 7-5 probably. I don't think that he will clear enough. But yeah, it's okay. He upgraded Sprite to a Thunderbird instead of pushing. Not quite sure if that was the right decision here, but at least set them up to clear 9 a little bit better. Maybe he will push on the wave. He probably should reach it. Yeah, and here's the holder again. So let's see what happens on 8. I want to check out here. Oh, and I don't want to check it out at 8 times speed. So yeah, it took some initial damage on the energy shield. Has his shield ability, so that will be drained. And you see a bunch of them are hitting here, but not all of them. And now the damage share is decent between all those units. The Grizzly would have died anyway very early. But this way, the Seer of Darkness is taking damage, but it's not the last one to die. It's close to the last one, so this went out very well for him. So nice placement, good job. Got his push in, which is very nice. Did he get his push? No, not even close. And does he get it? Yes. And he decided to push it and not get the Thunderbird for 9. Or maybe he still reaches the Thunderbird. 62, 99. Probably not, but we will see. And then we have the mid here. And at this point in the game, we see that there is not much to get by being mid. 2 lanes are on 10 to 20%, one lane on 0% bounty, so him being mid here will not give him much more value. Only thing that's happened is we'll be taking value of... Ah, shit, I missed it. We'll be taking value of West, since it doesn't go to the king, and it will be taking off your own team as well, since it doesn't go to the king. So yeah, him being mid, of course, is strong here. They don't die to no send 8 at least, and yeah, overall this him getting ultra big and the other lanes all dying here is something that happens sometimes, but hard to be avoided, and sometimes it's really necessary that there's one big lane. Yeah, but usually you want at least one other lane to be kinda alive, to damage on 10 and to be decent. Okay, and they decided to send on 9 here. They saw the Dwarf Fighter and Militia as their main holder, so that is absolutely reasonable send. They saw a Time Stealer on 1, which is decent, but he was not mid any other level. At least I did not see it, but like I said, I missed some. And we saw the Disciple on Vixen, but he's probably not the holder with Disciple, so yeah. What do we get here? Sadly, nothing to build for him, besides some trash probably. He could get another Violet, which is decent on 9. He can't get a Seed Giant, which he probably would have liked. He's getting a Zeus here, probably. Here we have
Job's done.
double sell. No, One cell for a troll fighter. Troll fighter is you usually don't want it before 10. You maybe want it for arena, but unless you are super overbuilt um, with value lane like pink is, you really don't want it. Maybe just build it so you will be able to afford it for arena and gave up on hold here, but probably not building it was better. I don't know what he could have built here. Yeah, like I said, really, really hard lane to play. So don't take too much into my judging here. It's just situation based, and I'm yeah not blaming the person for playing the way he does. Just looking at what is and how it could have done better, or maybe should have done better, or whatever. Or maybe if it's the perfect thing in the situation, like I saw with Green going to Sentry tier 1 with Parasite. So yeah. Okay. They are able to send, let's see, 2.7k, which is not really good enough. They don't send many hermits. I think hermits are quite strong on 9 even. Fur permit are strong on 9 and on 6. I think they are necessary on those big chunky waves where the units are designed to tank a lot. You will need this additional support. Okay, let's see how much damage they can do with the sensor. Okay, and West did not send here, so my calculations for them holding had to be done solely on their potential to hold in no send. And we see here first blocker, blocker. The alpha male, which is designed to block in his lane, died early, and now the low attack speed Thunderbird is gonna die very fast as well. And even though he had two decent magic damage units, he leaks a lot here. He leaking a lot. I think if he went for a Violet, he would be closer to mid, but maybe not mid as well, but he got his push at least. And here we have him doing well, really, really nice played this game. On top with his push, with this trash roll, played his sentries really well, yeah, and got the most of it. And they scout this. So that is my lane again, Soul of Villain, Militia, and a young Witch Doctor in mid. So that was what I added for 10 already. So it helped me to be mid here, and they see 58 leaks here on those wyverns, not too many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's how much I can count here without scrolling up to where we can see the rolls. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So it's not too much. I clear some cents here. I'm not quite sure if there's any gold. Yeah, there even was quite a lot of gold for me in there. And now we see how much heals are gonna be taken here. These upgrades here are not on west side, they are for east side, so don't get them mistaken. Yeah, this is how it goes here. 1 heal, so down to minus to 1 here. If they are really lucky, it's gonna be -4, but I think it's gonna be just -3, and they gotta expect a really big send on their lanes. So let's see. Yeah, killing the Furbox now, the damage is gone with the Wyvern, and the last zombies are not dying. So what did they accomplish with this send? With this send with what? 2,800 value against Immo. So if you want to send against Immo, your send should be around 3,500 value, depending on, of course, and that's situational, on how the game went, how big the opponents are, and what units they have to break them. But if you are sending low, you have to expect there either to be a mid or to not be too much damage on the king. And if the opponent team has Immo, like we had this game, you can't really force much king ups. So what they did with the send was take off 1 heal of us, which we don't really mind. They could have forced a bit of ups maybe if we were not gambling so much to not lose this last year. So it was close on our side, but we didn't do any ups here. So they didn't force any king ups. They got a little bit of king gold off our lanes, or at least off our lower lanes, and they fed that value into my lane. So they have to expect a way stronger 10 hold. They took off some value, but they did not take off any wood. So overall, not really a success, even though they took a heal, because the resend will be even stronger now. And they are full upgrading king, so they don't want to have anything to do with sending on 10. So they want to live here just. Yeah. So let me check out the lanes real quick before 10 to estimate what I think, how it will go. This one is strong-ish. I really like the addition of all those tier 1s. If you have big chunky blockers like Trident, like Cavalry, like Butcher, something like that, you really want parrots, you really want tier 1s in the back to distract the bosses. Like when a villain, I will start a little bit until the units are there so I can better talk about the stats. So if one of the VLANs hits a Trident, even with the damage reduction and the armor and stuff like that, I would assume they do like 100 damage. Roundabout estimated, let it be 120, let it be 80, doesn't really matter, but they will do that much damage. Since the Trident has 1600 HP, each hit will do full damage. Looking at a parrot, and if they hit the parrot, and if the parrot lives, this attack will deal 80 damage, and in the second hit, it will deal 5 damage. So it halves the damage, theoretically, it halves the damage of the villains. So this 20 gold unit takes off 160 HP of the Trident. I'm not quite sure if they live 2 hits. No, they don't. But there are some units which live 2 hits or which take a lot more. But this overkills. So every time a unit overkills something other, every time it has to focus swap in between a parrot and something else. When there is maybe just one boss on the Trident and 2 bosses are distracted by the parrots, you can get your big guys to live. So I really like this tier 1s in the back to distract the bosses. Looking at the sense, it's Warlock, Frostwolf, and a lot of masks. So this is designed to kill his lane, designed to make the Trident run around, not deal much damage, designed to have the fire cannons fire somewhere else. Okay. So he's going to be mid. He's 2200 value. I expect him to be mid. Good setup. This cannon going to do a decent wall clock. Yeah, looking good overall. This is not mid, 7-6. This is 7-5. Not building the fourth violet for 9, and thus resulting in only 7-5, I think, I would assume. Not gonna damage, maybe gonna do clear a little bit, but not gonna be mid, and this one. So they are full banking on Pink doing his job. So let me check that. Good block here, bosses are behind. What you really want is to have the mass to run in front and be cleared before the bosses reach. So you want them to be gone and focus on the bosses better before they arrive. If you are still dealing with killing those, and if you are like 4 wyverns are hitting a militia all at the same time, there is like, what is it, 320 damage wasted on a 56 value unit. That's why you send militias and mass into big one-shotty units. Decent clear at the start, Fullwork is down, and now all the mass is down. Let me see the focus. Okay, so some wyverns are shooting here, some are shooting here. The tridents are both alive still, but the bosses got distracted enough for the second by the parrots. 2 of those did not trigger, a bit far in the back, kinda sad for him. But overall focus is decent now, so he will be mid, but probably not as big as they wanted. But they have king, they have 2 heals, so potential to live here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So no one of the other lanes did well. No one really did any damage. Here's 1/2 HP boss, potentially from orange, but I'm not quite sure. So yeah, they are full banking on this to hold. It will, and that's important as well, it will kill the warlocks, will clear a lot of the archers in the back, which are strong on 10 on the king, especially if you have immo where your skill doesn't reach the ranged unit. So yeah, good of him to be mid, doesn't get a big kill, but got all the small ones, got his push in probably, yeah. 7-4 here, which is probably what he wants. Okay, 2 heals. And 1 here. And 1 here. So it's 1-1 even going into mid-game. Okay, I will check out the score at Arena, and it's visible for everyone. Okay, so now you can see their scoreboard as well, so the opponent's scoreboard, and you can see yeah, what was written on the wall the whole time. One really strong overbuilt lane which has high value, but not so big income. Managed to get a bit more income than pink, but West did send 10 and East did king only, so that's to be expected a little bit. Then we have one high push lane, the Disciple, which they saw all game, to be expected as well, and on 190 income, so he is gonna be big. If they gonna let this game go to the mid game, it's gonna be hard. And then we have one semi-big lane, Klar here with 7-4, with not the greatest push, but with decent value as well. He was a time stealer lane, and yeah, got a bit hurt early and did not profit of eating anything in mid since he didn't. He has a cavalry here even. Yeah, so that's the current state of the game. East has bank from not sending on 10, but West has bank as well from not kinging, and I will check out their wood now, even though that's not no information which East had at this point, but I am curious, and maybe we can see whether or not full king against not needing king and how it compares. So let me check out the lanes one by one. So 700 compared to 500, 200 in the bank for West. 800, 400. That's 500 in the bank for West. 560, 580, though that's even. 700 and 260, that's 450, I would say. So it's West is like 1.1k ahead in wood, even though East skipped to send big on early level. Okay, let's get the arena happen here. And yeah, clear win, easy win by East. There was really one big lane and big blockers and stuff like that. So I will go over the lanes of West once we have them publicly information for everyone. So let me check them out. I will take off Fog of War so you can see better here. I can't highlight it with a replay mode, so I will take Fog of War off so you can see it. So this was my lane. I went for a lot of Dwarf Fighter. They are very strong on many levels. They are really good on 10 even, blocking decent. I have 6 militia, so I had all of them mid on what is it? Mid on 7. And I went for double Soul of Villain since my role doesn't support anything else. This Sea Giant was placed after 10. So yeah, this was my placement of my stuff for 10. Had the Watcher in the second role this game and the Soul of Villain and Young Witch Doctor as well, but nothing else to do damage. And the Hydra, of course. Here we have Valfi's role. So yeah, this row, depending on in which direction I choose to build here, I can be strong 14, I can be strong on 15, I can't really be strong on the levels afterwards. I am decent-ish just by pure value on 12. Okay, here we see a weird mix of units. We saw the ship and the spectres at some point before in the game, but yeah, that's not nothing to really write home about. So yeah, this lane will die anywhere, except in the late game that can be mid, 15 maybe if he goes Hydras and finds some damage. And here we have Red's lane, who decided to go full push, 7-7 we saw on him. And he has cannons mixed in with his disciples, and the disciples are placed in a weird way. Off the wall, I remember that we told him that it's usually better for wall clock to place them behind each other. He didn't want to listen, but yeah, you don't always have to listen to everyone, but sometimes it's you should at least consider what your teammates say. Yeah. This is an interesting build, worked out for him this game. He got his push, his high push in and his high income, so yeah. But he got the jump start on 1 as well, so he got the feed there to be early big. This is a class build. We saw the Time Stealer early. He had some militia behind, but his lane never really took off, really, since I took most of the speed. But that's what they see, so this one, depending on how much cavalry he gets, can be strong on 14. Lots of dead value on 14, though. This one can be strong every level. Just that. So yeah, that's how it goes, how it is at the moment. And let's see what East decides. Let me check. Take the fog of war off again. What East decides to do here. I would not really know what to do, but I know what they will do, and what they decide to do is send 12 anyway. So they decided to skip 10 for a later level, and they decided that level is going to be 12. So I will fast forward here until we see a leak potentially. Yeah, here we have it. Yellow is leaking, orange is leaking too. Green will hold with the gray main, and pink of course is gonna hold. So yeah, they are starting to send here. And like on 9, 12 does not really provide any real damage itself. The damage on 12 fully comes from ballistas. So you want a really big send to be able to kill on 12. This game they have to expect my lane to be mid, and I was 2,500 value on arena and decent income, so they have to assume that my lane is mid. Doesn't really matter what they do. So looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 ballistas. If there are 15 ballistas and you take off 4 of those, which are on my lane, potentially there will only be 11 ballistas on to king. So yeah, 11 ballistas isn't that much. It's 24 hits from the king on if he's maxed, so that's pretty fast that they are dead, and then the lane does not have any damage anymore. But like I said before, the other lanes aren't great on 12, and they all look kind of shaky. So let's see how it goes here.
Ready to work.
So does West send? No, we did not fear anything here, and we wanted to kill. I think it was 13 where we wanted to go at that point, but I don't know really. And they did, yeah, we did realize, okay, they sent here, so all our plans which we had before are not really interesting anymore. And here you see the power of the frontline Phoenix or Seer of Darkness taking a lot of damage and then not dying. Alright, they see 38 alive even, so this was fail send. Potentially East just wanted to get income send here and to be mid to a potential resend by us, maybe gonna make it to the mid game. And here we see that I am mid certainly. I have big Hydra mid, Violet was mid alive, and many of my militias, even some Solar Villain and the young Witch Doctor, which provided some health here. And let me clock this up a little bit more so I can scout this. This is 1, 2, 3 ballistas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4 plus 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 ballistas in mid since I was mid, and I clear a lot of these mermaids. So I remember that we as in West, decided to send 13. So I will check out the send here. I will take off the fog of war here, and we'll look at this. We were thinking about what to send and who can cover what here. And we see my mid here still battling it out, killing the last, what are they called, sirens here, and it's just the ballistas going to king here. Low king, but yeah, just the ballistas, one heal. This was an income sent by East, and here we see the send for Behemoth and the logs we need. The send on 13, usually if you are sending 13 you want Behemoth, you want a log, you want a, first off Maiden 800 wood, Behemoth 500 wood, so 1.3k, Warlock 1.6, Frostwolf 1.84 value. Then you want the log, the commander plus hermit combination, that's 240 on top of that. So yeah, whatever I said before, plus 240 gold would you want as your send, which needs to be covered. Those are the mandatory sends. And then depending on what your opponent has on 13, you want to either add a Murgle if they have many splash units like Druid, like EA, Disciple and stuff like that. If they have big chunky units, you might want to add some more DPS like Nerubs or Gargoyles depending on the armor type, or you could even go for some extra Warlocks. And there are options if you have much wood to go for for a patch to get that vampiric aura on the Quattles if you need them in mid to kill the king, maybe if they have immo and you need many units alive in mid. So yeah, this is gonna be the send here, and we were discussing what to send here. Commander, I decided that I can send some commanders here for the team, and then suddenly we saw this. Our king being on the brink of death, already losing one, upping way too late, and just dying to 11 ballistas in the end. So yeah, that was a really interesting one from our point of view, and from their point of view certainly as well. So yeah, they just won this game, which was potentially lost already due to us just being stupid, I would say. What happened? Yeah, game happened. There was a really interesting comment of let me check out if I find it real quick. There was a really quick comment of someone in the chat afterwards. A lovely gaming early lead into win because they decided not to win. Yeah, this really was. We kind of didn't look really, just watching the sense, and yeah, just lost. I kind of liked this ending, so I wanted to share it with you. I hope you like this one. I hope you like the in-depth analysis of the lanes of the opposing team. Everything that I critiqued here and that I thought was wrong or could have been done different is open for debate. Of course, I'm don't know everything, but I have. I have my opinion on some things, and many of those are wrong for certain, but some are right. And take off it what you want, but they played their game well, depending on their shitty lanes. Of course, they did a good job at at keeping us at bay, but in the end, it was our own stupidity which lost us this game. I think even if we did like 3 attacks early on, we would have not died here, and Descent would have been way big enough to kill them since they only had one holder. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Goodbye.